What's up, everybody? Welcome to 3D Rivals, your first line of defense against stupid movies. My name is DJ, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, my sister, Danielle.
What's up? What's up?
My brother, Derek.
What's up, everybody?
And my friend, Dan.
Howdy.
Yep. And this week, we're going to be talking about Antman and the Wasp in our MCU Rewind. We are getting towards the end game, and I'm excited to get there. But we'll be talking about Antman and the Wasp. At the end of the podcast, we'll talk about WandaVision, episode 5 and 6, and we'll definitely give our thoughts on the craziness that is that show. But first, let's start off with Antman and the Wasp. And this is it's a movie.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I feel like this movie gets a lot of hate. I don't think it deserves the hate it gets. I feel like it fits within the Ant-Man franchise, but you know, I think coming after Infinity War, it kind of just is kind of like, you know, not it doesn't live up to it, right?
I mean, yeah.
Well, you figured with the way Infinity War ended, right? Everyone's like, okay, we need another MCU movie. And then your next MCU movie is Ant-Man, which is a fine movie, but it's not great. It's definitely the bottom third of MCU movies for me. And so when you come off a high of Infinity War, and then you get a movie that's like just okay, it kind of like, it's not bad, but it wasn't what I wanted.
I think one of the glaring...
But it's like, with a movie like Infinity War, are you really going to top Infinity War with a solo hero?
Well, not going to top it, but you want something that, I mean, like, because you're all hyped up, right? You're like ready, right? And then it's just, okay.
Yeah.
Kind of just...
I don't think it would have been easy for any movie to follow Infinity War. Just because everyone is expecting what's going to happen next. So it's like, to throw in any movie after that, you're not going to get that same excitement. Because it's just like 2 movies came out after that, Ant-Man and the Wasp and Captain Marvel, but no one cared because everybody's just like, dude, what's happening with it after Infinity War?
Okay, so you might have a valid point if those movies were better movies overall.
Right.
Both Ant-Man and the Wasp and Captain Marvel have issues. And if maybe they were better movies, we wouldn't hate on them. I mean, like, they don't deserve as much hate as they get, but in the same line, they really are just okay movies.
True. And I think one of the issues I think Ant-Man and Wasp has is, you know, it points to Scott as being the main character, right? But the story is not about him. And so it's weird because it's like Scott, we're the audience, so Scott's the way that we look through things, and it's like we're just along for this ride that, like, there's stuff happening with other people and we're just following along with them because that's what Scott's doing. This entire story of Ant-Man and Wasp has nothing to do with him. He's just there. Like, they're trying to save Wasp's mother and stuff, and yeah.
I'm completely fine with that. My problem with Ant-Man and the Wasp is their villains are bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with that. There's some pretty bad villains.
I think that's the thing. Like, we didn't need Sonny Birch in this movie. And then I felt like the ghost we got just wasn't good. Yeah, and I felt like if they would have focused on one villain, maybe one of them would have been better. Yeah. And then to say, like, at the end, her motivation was just trying to save her life. So then it's like, well, I really don't even feel bad for her. So she was a villain, but not really a villain. We just kind of took me out the whole movie.
Yeah, I think Ghost could definitely have been done better. Definitely could have been done better.
Yeah, I feel like that's a mistake that a lot of movies, when it comes to superhero movies, I should say, run into when they put in multiple villains. And it's just like, sometimes you get that feel where one of the villains is being forced instead of just focusing on one. Like, I feel like in the Christopher Nolan Batman movie series, like, just focusing on one villain, it made the movies better. And it's just like, when it was a second villain in those movies, like, that villain literally took a second role. And I feel like only villain in that series that were out of place was Catwoman. Like, I felt like they could have done without her on there. And I feel like that's the mistake that superhero movies make all the time, is forcing in another villain in the movie. And it's just like, this could be written without it.
Yeah, and I think this is a thing that Marvel really doesn't have to do. Like, there's no reason to put a bunch of characters in when you have like this giant overarching story. It's like you could avoid all that, because like, why do I need to rush in this villain when like we could throw him in another movie, even if it's not the like Iron Man didn't get a true Mandarin, but we're getting the Mandarin in Shang-Chi. So like, even if you don't have it in this certain franchise, we know we could pull a character up in Marvel at any point. So I think it's a definite good point to make. Like, there's no need to throw extra villains into a movie like this. Like, no real point.
Yeah, and let's face it, Ant-Man really doesn't have good villains in his canon, and I mean, his ultimate villain is Ultron, and
that was done.
We used it for Iron Man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at this. His first villain wasn't really an actual villain to Ant-Man. The villain was Ant-Man in the comics. Ant-Man is the Yellow Jacket, and they just made it a different character. Like, so that tells you how much he does not have villains. Like,
right. Yeah, you got to make up villains for this dude. Yeah, because even in the comic books, Ghost is an Iron Man villain.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Sonny Burch is also not an Ant-Man villain.
It came out after Infinity War, so they're trying to fill some gaps and basically let us know what's going on. So I didn't really expect too much from the movie. They just Ant-Man, or they try to get us a filler story, and then at the end of the movie, basically they told us having Ant-Man during the snap.
Right, and
like
that was
what the movie was really leading up to.
That was the biggest part of the movie, was the snap.
It was. It was.
Yeah. You have a good point that it was a filler movie. It felt like a filler movie.
Yeah.
And I get, like, most of the Ant-Man movies are kind of like, I'm doing my own thing, which is perfectly okay. But this time around, it really did feel like just a stopgap until we got to the movie we all cared about. And I'm pretty sure that's not what they intended, but that's definitely how it felt watching the movie.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, you didn't expect Ant-Man to be a big movie, and it's not supposed to. It's not supposed to be $1 billion movie or anything like that. Nobody expected it to be. Yeah. So I guess it was a filler. But other than that, there's definitely some enjoyable parts to the movie. Paul Rudd is still funny.
Paul Rudd is always funny. I will say I really enjoyed the Wasp in this movie because I hate her watching the cartoon. Because the cartoon, she sucks. With them little beep, 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 beep things she got in her hands. Yeah. But, like, in the movie, like, she's better than Ant-Man.
Yeah.
She is. She's cold in the movie. I like her in the movie.
Yeah, she's very competent. Which are like...
She cold without the suit on. Ant-Man ain't cold without the suit on. Without the suit, Wasp is cold.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and
like, she can handle herself.
Yeah. And I do like that they did that, like how they wanted to focus on the Wasp, and they did a great job. It was a great job to like say like, oh hey, here's a strong, independent woman, and did it without like punch you in the face with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is how it should be. Like, movies definitely can and should have strong, independent women that are like a big part of the movie. They could be the main characters in the movie. It's necessary. People argue against it. It's not. It's definitely necessary. However, don't force it. And I do like how they did it in this movie, and when they do it in movies like this, where it's just like, yeah, she's strong, she's independent, and there's no like background stupid reason why. It's just like she is. She's the main character. She didn't need this or that. That's just her. And I think that worked pretty well for this movie.
Yeah, like that. The action scenes in this movie was really good.
Yeah, the car chase. That car chase was dope. That was a dope car chase.
Wait, which one? When he had that Veloster, when they had that Hyundai Veloster.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was dope. Yeah. He's probably one of my favorite characters in this movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Who, Louise?
Yeah, he's my favorite character in the movie.
I would say that for this movie, the action is really good. the action scenes are really good in this movie.
Oh yeah. If y'all go back to that first part when they captured them, and they had all three of them in those chairs. When he opened that Altoids box and the ants was backing him away, he was looking way over the top of both of those ants, and I was like, "This is highly noticeable." The second time he was backed away by the ants, he did a little bit better, but it was still noticeable that like he's not really looking at these ants. I don't know what he was looking at, but he wasn't looking at the ants.
He missed his sight lines. Probably because those ants are probably people in motion capture suits, and he was looking at the people.
But you know that as an actor. Look at their feet. Look at their feet. It would be more believable. You're Lawrence Fishburne. You've been acting for years. You know how this works, man.
Especially after being in the Matrix.
Yeah.
At a certain age, you just don't care anymore. He probably that age.
But
just don't care.
His eyes still work and look downwards.
Not that scene like in the kitchen is great. Overall, I think the action is good. Like the use of making things larger and smaller, although unnecessary, was
very
fun to look at. But my issue with the scene is Wasp had plenty of chances to get away. Like I don't understand. Like what was she doing? No. Okay, she had the thing, right? And then Ghost shows up and her dad's like, "Get out of there, Hope." And I'm like, "Yes, Hope, leave the room." And she just like she forgot how to fly and shrink or something. I just don't understand.
And making everything else larger, she could have did the same with the component.
I mean, people have brain farts.
Well, that was serious. I'm watching this like, why are you just standing there? And then even then, I'm like, okay.
In the kitchen scene, I will say, even though it was cool, it was no need to. It wasn't necessary. Like her running on the knife and stuff, like it was.
Well, or we talk about how cool that car scene was. Was that not also unnecessary? What's the purpose of being large and big, large and big, large and big? Like
that is true. Yeah, like I feel like if you're small, the larger car is gonna catch you and probably run you over. That's what I think.
Yeah, and you're not gonna cover much ground.
No.
That's small.
Oh, well,
right.
Even like, okay, when they kidnap Scott, right? And then they're driving, and then it turns out the car is really small. What's the point?
How close was that lab? Because that would have been a long drive being that small.
Yeah, really long. And then with the birds being that big, if they peck the car, is that not going to shatter the window?
These buildings aren't on no foundations. There's no piping or nothing. And then at the end of the movie, he just put his house on a beach. Just no foundation.
You have no plumbing. You on poop, it's going to go right into the sand.
Just nothing.
This is hard.
So they model scaled the building and then enlarged it. Okay, but as much as the jostling around that suit, shouldn't that little tunnel they built been on like all kinds of damage? That thing got tossed in the air, thrown in the ocean, like
it did. Yeah. I doubt it.
It's
everything
proof,
got
apparently.
It's reality proof. Yeah, they are hilarious. Like just the way that they interact with each other is like ridiculous. Because like especially when Louise get to telling them stories, man, and he voicing everybody. It's like the funniest thing ever, man. Because everybody, like, whenever you telling a story, whenever you tell a story, I usually give everybody different voices, you know what I'm saying? But everybody has the same voice. Everybody talks the same. And when they got like the mouth, like it's hilarious.
Can you imagine him doing like a synopsis of WandaVision with like, like, so Vision found out, right? And then he got mad and he was like, "Wanda, what am I doing here?" And then Wanda got pissed and she was like, "I'm pissed."
It would be exactly like that. It would be exactly like that, though.
It would.
Then, like, you do a voiceover for Thanos or something like that. That dude.
Yeah.
I'd be lost it.
I wonder how they're gonna be in the third one. Cause like,
Cause they do got that. They do got that security company. So it's like, they can't just like cut that all out. Like you kind of need that.
Okay, so we talked about this a little bit. How Ghost is actually an Iron Man villain, and also he gets his power from his suit and not like the quantum. Oh, should we this quantum nonsense that they say in this movie? Like, it's pure and utter nonsense, right?
Yeah.
Just quantum
just quantum
that, and
he was like, so do we just put quantum in front of everything?
It's just like, it's the comic version of, this makes no sense, so let's just call it quantum something or another. And then see, all answers.
Yeah, they got me that way. They definitely got me that way. Like, oh, quantum.
Well, the third one, yeah, Quantumanium is the name of it. So, yeah, this is all quantum.
Gosh. Ridiculous. But anyway.
A whole lot more quantum to come.
In the comics, he gets his power from the suit, and he also becomes a member of the Thunderbolts, which then makes me wonder: do you want to see Ghost again? I don't.
I can go without her.
What can she do though?
If she's in a different role,
yeah, what can she do now? Like, I mean,
I guess just fade.
Did she get healed though, or she just can control it now?
No, I'm gonna bring that up in nitpicks about what happened to Ghost. We're gonna talk about that later. But let's move on to other points.
Okay.
So Disney actually created the site to learn close-up magic website. So that site Scott was on, Disney actually created it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Because why not?
Because why not?
Right. Okay.
All right.
Okay. So, obviously, everyone knows that this movie relies heavily on the things that happened in Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Michael Douglas had not seen Civil War. So he said, I'm reading the script and I'm like, man, what is going on right now? Like, guys, what are we doing? And it's like, oh, bruh. He's like, no one told me I had to watch this movie.
Does he really have to, though? I mean,
he doesn't have to, but if you get the script for a new movie.
But I mean, I can see him reading the script and like things that he has to say or the things that Paul Rudd is saying. And he's just like, wait, what?
Like, why is Paul Rudd under a house arrest?
Right,
yeah.
like we're think about it. They're mad at Paul Rudd for taking their suits and go finding in Germany, and he's like, when did this happen? It's kind of a big deal. They might have said, hey, you might want to watch this movie.
Yeah, because I mean that would be kind of a bomb.
Yeah.
Like, what, Germany?
Yeah.
What, huh? Captain America? What?
Well, I mean,
I'm just saying. But okay, I just thought that was interesting. All right, I got some nitpicks. So we talked about some of them, but not all of them. So when the FBI figured out what Scott was doing and they go run to his house, there is literally no way Scott gets back into that house before the FBI realize he's not there.
Which time?
Well, at the end of the
When
movie?
his daughter was trying to cover for him.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah,
Like,
I mean, it
towards
was
the
played
end of
as
the movie.
a joke. So.
No. Was that a joke?
Yeah.
That wasn't a joke. That was legit. Hey, Scott made it back. There's no way he made it back in time.
No, I'm saying, yeah, but, like, I know it's not realistic, but it's... I feel like I let that one go because of the movie.
It's very key to their story.
Yeah, it's a comedy movie, so yeah, it's not possible.
He has to make it back, though. He has to, or else that's it for Scott. I mean, that's 20 years minimum.
Yeah. All right.
No, there's literally no way. Okay.
He used his quantum car.
How do you know they didn't have a quick way back to the house? He was already on the way back before the FBI found out that he wasn't in the suit.
No. He was like, I had to get back. They were in the woods. No way.
But his house is right next to the woods, though. That's what they didn't tell you.
Oh, okay.
The woods is his backyard.
Mm-hmm. There's no way he makes it back in time. I don't care how you guys try to fix this.
It's quantum. It's quantum.
All right.
Okay.
It makes quantum sense.
Okay. So Ghost was blaming Hank Pym for her condition, but like straight up, that's just her daddy's fault.
Yeah, that was a stretch.
Definitely.
I'm like, why is it Hank Pym's fault?
Right, like, oh, it's all your fault. I'm like, so your father got fired, decided to work on the side, blew everyone up, and then you're blaming Hank Pym?
If it wasn't for you firing him, I'm like, yo, I mean, even if you fired him for a wrong reason, your dad's the one that chose to.
And they never even clear on whether or not he got fired for, I mean, probably, because Hank Pym's the worst person in the world.
Yeah.
One of them.
But like they weren't even clear that if he got fired for no reason. But I was like, you mad at Hank for that?
Yeah, I don't know. And then you're willing to like kill people? I don't. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But like they were almost out of the building, and she decided to run back to help her daddy. The one thing I don't get: why didn't all y'all just leave? You're not gonna blow up. You failed. Okay.
Yeah.
Why nobody gotta get hurt?
Behind?
Yeah, I don't.
Right. Just go.
Yeah.
All y'all can go. Forget about it.
How is it that everybody dies but her?
But because she got hit with it and got the phasing powers, so she phased through the rubble, and that's why it didn't kill her.
No one, no phasing powers. That's what I'm saying.
No,
that don't make no sense.
Oh, no one. No, of course. That's how these superhero movies work. Okay, only one person gets the powers.
That's how it
Right.
is in the comic
Only one
book.
person.
It's
But you
like
said it like here's
something
the
that
answer.
will kill
That's not an
everybody
answer.
else.
Yeah.
It's
Well, that
quantum.
is the answer.
Something that will kill everybody else gives this one particular person powers.
Hey,
This
just
is how it goes.
out of 20, just don't die.
It's quantum selection. Just put quantum in front of everything.
But hey, I like how Scott called that out in the movie. He's like, you guys just put quantum in front of everything.
they probably realized that none of this makes sense. So they're like, hey, we got to throw this line in there. It might have been ad-libbed. I don't know. Who knows?
Look, I don't know anything about physics. It's confusing. And
neither do I.
Yeah.
There's probably some physicists out here just like, this doesn't make sense. It's not real.
I just know gravity is real. That's the only thing I really know about physics.
Right.
All right.
If I jump off the window, I will land on the ground.
I am
Right.
glad
And
you
you will be
believe
hurt.
that, considering there are people that don't.
Yeah, I know. Those are idiots. I'm like, so how are you standing here talking to me right now and not floating through my roof?
Not by gravity.
Are you just that heavy? People aren't heavy without gravity. Gravity makes you heavy. So, it's like, come on, man.
All right, D, did you have other nitpicks?
One more.
Okay.
So, the ghost is dead, right? At the end of the movie, they hop into the quantum tunnel to grab some quantum energy to save her life.
The more
all
healing
get
particles,
snapped.
which,
Whatever,
made
quantum
up.
energy. So they all snapped away. Scott is gone for 5 years. This chick is straight up dead then, right?
Yeah, probably.
I would guess so.
She would have to be dead. No, because she was gonna be
dead.
she was gonna be dead in the or unless
She was part of the dust. She got dusted.
She got snapped.
oh yeah.
She got dusted.
She got snapped away. Or you could say that the original Wasp, Janet, maybe she extended her life by like 6 years. So
That is dangerously close.
So our solution is she either got snapped or Janet's super duper magic extended her life for 6 years, and the snap only lasted for 5.
yeah. So
Yes.
But
yes.
oh wait, the quantum tunnel got destroyed in Endgame though.
That's what I'm saying. They weren't trying to save her life.
yeah,
like what happened to those magic particles Scott was collecting?
He still got it in his thermos.
He didn't come back with a thermos.
His thermos.
Whatever that thing was.
It was a thermos though, man.
She gonna drink it? Keep it cold for her so until she drinks it.
All right, so she's either dead, got snapped away, or just
Dead.
about to die. All right.
Or she came back and then died anyway, so Scott definitely forgot about her.
Yeah, he did. Oh man,
Wow.
that's really interesting. All right, so is it time for us to rate this movie?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Yep.
I'm gonna say do Why Folding Close, right in the middle of watch Why Folding Close, because if it was on, I would leave it on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a watch by folding clothes.
I'm on board with that.
Yep.
Same. Watch why folding close.
Unanimous 3D Rivals decision. Look at that! Wow.
Ba, ba, da, ba.
We did special music for the unanimous rating from 3D Rivals. So Antman and the Wasp.
That's our music.
You can
Ba-ba-da-ba.
yeah.
Ba-ba-da-ba. That's the music. Bump it up on.
So Antman and the Wasp, you can watch this movie while you're folding clothes. And that's that. So we'll go ahead and move on to our thoughts on WandaVision. We'll be talking about both episodes 5 and 6. I think our main, well, I don't even going to say main, just a bunch of crazy stuff happened in this. So if you haven't seen these episodes of WandaVision, spoiler alert, I guess. I don't know why you would listen to this after I've already said it, but yeah. So, guys, a lot of stuff happened in WandaVision in the last 2 episodes.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, these episodes are dense, man. Like, for them to be like a half hour long.
I'm mad that they're only 30 minutes long. My
Me
goodness.
too, man. Speaking of dense, though, that barrier's a lot denser now, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about that because that was in episode 5. Well, and 6, the end of 6 too.
And 6, yeah.
But okay, first thing, we all know who the real villain is, and everyone agrees. The real villain is the "Please Stand By" screen. That's the real villain of the series.
No, I gotta agree. These half-hour episodes are killing me because it's just, and like I know they do it on purpose. Like, you're getting into it, you're like, oh, okay, right? Like, I'm ready. Like, let's keep going. Let's do this thing. And then it's like, please stand by in the episode. I'm like, this.
Every time, because they always end on something where you're like, oh my gosh, and it's like, please stand by. And I'm like, oh. And my last reaction to the episode, I literally was like, that's the end of the episode? Oh my god.
I hate, like, when I look, like, before I start playing, and it'd be like, and this episode was shorter than last week's episode. It's like, episode is like 31 minutes. I'm like, oh. I was like visibly disappointed that the episode was. I was hoping
the credits was 5 minutes by itself. Yeah, so you got to subtract 5 minutes from that whole
time. And then they do a previously on. I'm like, we don't need that. Why do I need it? It's streaming.
I think they do that because of the sitcom thing.
No, you're taking the precious minutes. We need all of those minutes.
Well, the credits are like 7 minutes long.
The credits are 6 minutes. Then you have a minute and a half telling me what happened last week, and then a minute and a half to come on.
Yeah.
Do better.
Yeah, well,
credits though, man. Like, come on, man. It's like I walk away and come back like, I'm still thinking. Okay, we get it. Like, we heard it the first episode. Okay, enough. Now let's just thank the immediates and keep on moving. Like, we don't need 7 minutes of freaking credits.
All right.
Yeah.
So, what was I gonna say? Now I forgot. I forgot everything now.
Okay. Well, let's talk about this dude Tyler Haywood. This dude he no good.
He is not.
Yeah, no, he up to something. There's something's wrong.
He is up to something because in episode 5, he straight up shot a missile at Wanda. I'm like, for real though?
I feel like he's trying to hide something. And we saw he did show in the episode that Wanda stole Vision's body from Sword.
Yeah.
Right.
And he was using all that to kind of create the vibe that, hey, she's a threat. We have to treat her like a threat. We got to take her out.
Yeah, and I was like, dude is a bit backwards because he's talking about how Wanda went against Vision's will and like reanimating him and stuff. But Sword was obviously doing some experiments or trying to reverse engineer stuff from the Vision.
And they weren't going to bury him.
Yeah. That was clear what they were doing in that video. So one, he was being hypocritical right there. And I think that's part of whatever he's doing with the Vision, he's trying to cover up. I think that's the deal.
He's definitely trying, because he went from like 0 to 100. Like,
real
all of a sudden it was like, Wanda is the Vision. I mean, Wanda is the villain. She can't be trusted. She must be taken out. And they're like, how did we get to this?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, all of a sudden we're at to killing her with missiles? That's insane.
Just messed up. Look, the scene after
and it's
that,
questionable. Oh, I was going to say it's questionable with his drastic action because Monica made mention of this. She's an Avenger.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, why are you taking this aggressive approach against an Avenger? Why are we not trying to figure out what's going on, what's wrong?
Yeah. And plus they mentioned in episode 6 you starting all this and you can't win. Like why you're not even approaching it from an intelligent standpoint because you're doing it and you're going to lose. They already mentioned like she would have taken out Thanos. There's nothing you have here that can stop
they did bring
her.
it up.
Yeah, it's a fight you can't win. So why are we doing this?
Didn't she kind of show you that? You fired a missile at her. She stopped the
Right.
missile and brought your machine back out to you. Had your dudes turn their guns on you. And then she made the barrier more dense so that anybody try to get in or out probably going to die in the process.
Man,
His Vision almost tore himself apart trying to get out.
That scene when she came out of the barrier to confront them, dude. First of all,
the coldest scene I've ever seen.
First of all, I always say this every episode. I'm like, Wanda Scurry, okay? Like, Wanda Scurry. Like, dude, man, she came out with her full Sokovian accent on, like, yo, stop messing with my stuff and go away. And then, like, straight up turn dudes men against them, man. I'm like,
dude. Yeah. Elizabeth Olsen though is like bringing it in this show.
Yes,
she is.
Yes,
yo, like she has to play a different kind of acting in every episode, plus switching back to the Marvel character of it. Then she's going back to like, okay, I'm no longer pretending with my American accent, so she's putting back on a Sokovian accent. I'm like, yo, I know award ceremonies don't like superhero stuff, but I feel like in this, Elizabeth Olsen has shown she has shown her acting range. Besides the fact that the show is really well put together, but like she's shown her acting range and she deserves an Emmy. Like, come on, man. She she's doing great.
I saw somewhere where they were even saying like the first couple of episodes was boring, and I was like, how?
I think that's people that's not vested in the characters.
General, was it Gen Z or whatever? Don't appreciate good TV shows.
Yeah, man.
No, they don't. They want like immediate to the point. Like, hey, they're building up to it. You know what I'm saying? They gotta. I was just gonna say.
Yeah.
And they trying to kind of like I call it like they trying to rock us to sleep a little bit, like kind of put us into the show. Like we know there's something else going on out there, but like. While we're watching the show, we're invested in the fact that this is an old 50s show. It's they're a family, they're in this suburban neighborhood. It's a comedy. That's what we end up getting sucked into. And then they kind of hit you in the face with, oh, it's real out here. Though. Like this ain't just what this show is supposed to be about. It's a lot more going on than you think. So I kind of pushed us into that in the first 2 episodes. In episode 3, they started like you kind of like showing us what's going on in the outside world.
Yeah. Well, I don't think episode 4 is as good as it is without putting episode 1, 2, 3 before it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you have to add it.
Like, I would say, like, okay, the first 2 episodes didn't give you a lot compared to, like, the overall story. You know, those first 2 episodes really was more of, this is a 1950, 1960 comedy. But at the same time, like, it was fun to watch. So even though a lot didn't happen, it was still fun to watch, and I was like, I'm fine with that.
I mean, because the thing is, you're still trying to figure out what's going on. Why is it like this?
Yeah.
And there were still nuances in the show where it was just like, wait, why did that happen?
Yeah.
Why is this going on? So, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, so right there, okay, this ain't just, a 50s comedy. It's like it's obviously something more to this because these things didn't happen in 50s comedies. You know what I'm saying? Like dude choking and they pretty much spazzing like, oh, what do we do? Like that was just weird.
Yeah.
So they're like, there's something more to this.
Yeah, stuff happening, and honestly, the only episode I didn't like was the 3rd one.
Yeah, the end of the 3rd was good, but the 3rd one wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't as the sitcom portion of it wasn't as enjoyable as the other 2.
Yeah.
But in episode 5, so there's a few things. We talked about Wanda coming out and confronting them. She made the barrier stronger, obviously. Her kids aging themselves up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they just went from babies to 10 years old in the episode, and she has no power against them. One thing I noted was when she was trying to put them to sleep, and she said, "Why won't you do what I want?" And I think that it's clear that Wanda is getting used to this, and I guess we mentioned this in later episodes, but she, like at the end of the episode, she says she didn't know how it started, and I think she's telling the truth on that. She doesn't know how it started, but at some point she realized that she had control over all of this, and now she's complicit in controlling all these people. And at that line, why won't you do what I want, is important because everyone else is doing exactly what she wants.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's going to build into her breaking point when all this goes down, probably at the end of this series.
Because it's like clearly she's in control of everyone except for Vision and her 2 kids.
Yeah.
Which that kind of makes me think that maybe there's someone else involved. Like Wanda is definitely the main antagonist in this.
Yeah.
But like I feel like you have people like her 2 kids who are completely independent. The fact that she doesn't have complete control over Vision is very odd, especially like in episode 5 and 6, where Vision is just basically he's completely broke. It's like he's not under her control anymore. Yeah. And then
he's questioning everything about her at this point.
Yeah. And then at the end of episode 5, when Pietro shows up,
and she's shocked.
And she didn't create Pietro, so there's definitely another force at work here.
There is something else, and we want to figure out what exactly that is. I'm pretty sure we'll get answers towards the end of it. A lot of people have a lot of different theories. Some of them don't make sense. Some people are still saying Agnes, which I think episode 6 dispels that, and we'll get to that when we start talking more detail or episode 6. But yeah, like there's something else. There are a few theories that make sense. Some that I think people are reaching on, but we'll.
I think a lot of them people are reaching.
Yeah.
We'll get to I think because Marvel has always hits us with the unexpected, and I feel like people are just grasping for straws. It's just
I think
ideas
because people are so confident in certain answers. I'm like, it's definitely not because y'all just super confident. It's definitely from day one. It's definitely this, and I'm like, it ain't gonna be. So, but yeah, it's not just Wanda. I think she is the villain. It's not just her. She's definitely controlling everything in this place.
Right. And she is aware of her controlling it. It's like, it's not someone controlling her.
Yeah.
It's like she definitely controlling what's going on.
But, okay, Danielle, you mentioned that obviously Wanda didn't create Pietro and when he showed up because she was shocked by it. I have a theory on that. Well, one, it's the X-Men Pietro. We can't skim over this.
Yeah, it's definitely the X-Men Pietro.
Yeah.
Dude, I was so confused. I was literally like, did I forget what the other guy looked like? And I was like, I'm like, that's definitely the guy from the X-Men movies. And I was just like, it definitely has to be the guy from the X-Men movies.
It is.
Yeah.
No accent.
Which makes me think like, childish. Yeah. Pietro is like definitely a plant because I feel like in episode 6 he was asking too many questions.
I do feel that too.
Yes, he was asking way too many questions.
And,
I was like, something's weird.
He wasn't answering hers.
Yeah,
yeah.
Something's weird about that because
what happened to your accent? What happened to yours?
What happened to yours? And he was like really drilling in, trying to figure out how she did all of this. So I'm like, who planted him then? If he's a plant. Yeah. Because he couldn't be a plant by the other person pulling the strings, right? Because they would, I don't know, it's confused.
They wouldn't, right? Because they would know how she's doing it.
Yeah, or why would they care?
Now, this is my theory with this, is that the director planted him.
Maybe
because he knows more of what's going on, and because he's not telling anybody anything.
Yeah,
it's like they're finding out, and we still don't know what's the last part that Darcy found out. About.
All right. Yeah. Well, let's finish talking about Pietro, then we'll jump into episode 6. All right. So, that was like crazy. So, question is this multiverse or whatever? With no, you don't think so? I mean, she's obviously leading to the multiverse. Because the next movie is Multiverse of Madness.
What I'm saying is I feel like Marvel is not going to take those Fox movies and say, hey, this stuff really happened. I think it is that it couldn't be her brother. obviously, right? Because that whole episode was about you can't bring people back from the dead.
Yeah.
So
it's not her brother that died in Sokovia. He's dead.
Right. So I'm thinking we got Evan Peters. I'm thinking it's more of a Marvel trolling us to say, hey, we gave you Pietro, but not the Pietro you know.
Possible.
Right. Which is why they use him instead of like a random person. So you use someone that we all recognize, but I don't think it's connected at all.
I feel like they use Pietro because it's like anybody else they send in, she gonna be like, no, you gotta go. But sending Pietro, she kind of emotionally attached to him, so like he might survive a lot longer, and we might get a little bit more information out of her because she might be a little bit more trusting of him because that's her brother and she misses him so much.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she kind of do realize that it's not the same Pietro. But I don't know how that's gonna play out for real.
Yeah. So with this, I still think it might be multiverse, but I don't think everyone is like, because it's Evan Peters, that means it is the Pietro from the X-Men movies. But if you're talking about a multiverse, that would mean some Pietros look like Aaron Taylor Johnson and some look like Evan Peters. So I think it still could be a multiverse with an Evan Peters version of Pietro, maybe not the ones from the very bad X-Men movies. People are going to be mad about that. But let's be honest, most of them were bad. Maybe not that exact one, but a Pietro from a different universe.
Right. That could be it. I mean, I guess my whole point was that this is not the Pietro from the X movies. Like, absolutely not. There is no way they're about to take those trashy movies and put them in the MCU.
Agreed. Yeah. Although this is a rumor. I did hear that Jennifer Lawrence was in talks with
No.
I know.
Now this is what I think, because people keep saying about multiverse. What's going on right now on WandaVision is not a alternate universe.
No,
like this is actually happening in the MCU. I think with the conclusion of this, whatever happens is going to cause Wanda to spiral more deeper out of control.
Yeah, most definitely.
Like she's out of control now, but she's out of control, but controlled of what she's doing. Mm-hmm. And I feel like when it ends, she's completely mentally gone.
Yeah.
And that's what leads to the multiverse. People keep speculating like this is what's taking place now, and I don't think that's what that is.
Yeah, no, I don't think this is the multiverse, but I do think she's going to cause the break. Like she's going to break things, which is causing like for Spider-Man, the reason why his people are coming over, which is a question about timing because this show happens before Far From Home. So I'm confused at how this show ties into the third Spider-Man movie, but skips over Far From Home. So we're gonna have to figure that out.
I want to say that it probably taking place at the same time.
No, it doesn't.
Because Spider-Man is no longer in New York.
Because Spider-Man happened during the summer, and this happens 3 weeks after Endgame. So this happens like months before Spider-Man Homecoming, or not Homecoming, Far From Home. So it's like, unfortunately, the way they put the time down, it's like, this is.
Maybe it's going to take a little bit of time for the multiverses to reach all the way around.
We'll see how it ends. I think she's probably like going to be stopped this episode, not in this series, and like before Doctor Strange comes out, like she wakes up and just breaks or whatever, Like it's not an immediate thing. Maybe they stop her, put her in stasis or something. Who knows?
Yeah, because I mean, we all know that if they stop her from doing what she's doing, her kids are gone and Vision is gone.
Man, her kid's gone. She gone. Man, that's gonna be bad.
Yeah.
Don't mess anybody up.
Isn't that how the House of M started? Because her kids was gone.
Yeah,
and they were like they weren't real anyways, and she wasn't hearing it.
Yeah, and then she got rid of all mutants because of that. So,
Yeah.
And then somehow they turned up. The comics are weird, but so yeah. All right, episode 6. So here's my thing about the whole Quicksilver is a plant. Well, before I get into the meat of this episode, Malcolm in the Middle. Let's start there.
Malcolm in the Middle.
Malcolm in the Middle. Yes.
I have one slight issue with this. I love me some Malcolm in the Middle.
Mm-hmm.
Malcolm in the Middle came out in the 2000s.
Yeah, this is early 2000s.
They skipped 1990.
Yeah. What do you want? You want Tool Time?
I'm just saying we skipped the whole decade.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah. You can't use Martin because Martin wasn't a family.
Family Matters was on.
Oh, Family Matters.
Yeah, Family Matters. Step by step.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, we had.
So they just skipped the 90s.
We had Full House in the last one, so
Full House was like mostly 80s.
Yeah, it was late 80s leading into the 90s.
Yeah, okay. Well, fine. We skipped the 90s. Who cares? It's Malcolm in the Middle, man. Listen. I was hyped when that intro came on.
I'm with Danielle, though. I'm still like, we skipped a decade.
We skipped a decade.
90s was a pretty daggone good decade at that, too.
It was. And then the theater marquee mixing movies. I'm like, was that on purpose? It probably was on purpose why we skipped a decade. Because she had The Parent Trap and The Incredibles showing at the same time.
It's on purpose because, one, Wanda doesn't know when the movies came out. So, 2, it was a nod because Incredibles is a superhero family and The Parent Trap is about twins. So they were nods to the actual story.
Oh, because I literally had to look like, when did The Incredibles come out? Because I know it wasn't 1990 nothing.
Definitely was not.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But there was a lot with episode 6. Though.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. That was my tidbit. We can go back to what you was about to say.
All right. So I like your theory about Quicksilver being a plant by the director. There's obviously something up because, like y'all said, in this episode, he's like grilling Wanda on why she did this. Where did you put all the kids? What did you do with all the kids, Wanda?
Yeah, because they just all of a sudden pop.
Come on, man.
Well, you know what? I'm thinking like
made the kids disappear. I just think the main characters of the show, quote unquote, didn't have kids. So we see that whoever's not being used for the show, people are stuck.
Yeah, so
okay,
you had
but
kids
my thing
stuck.
is,
that's messed up.
A town of 11,000 and there are no kids.
No, there were kids. They were just
kids.
So
they were just still in their house.
That you're right, because like we said, like when Vision went to the edge of the town, the people on the edge of the town didn't move, which means like she only focused on the people around. So she probably said, "We don't need the kids right now." So they're probably like all stuck in their bed or something while the adults get to roam around.
That's messed up.
This is my thing, though.
It is.
It is messed up. The main characters of these so-called show don't have kids.
Okay, but remember in episode 5, Vision said that he passes the playground on his way to work.
Yeah, and
he walks to work, and there's never any kids. So even if Agnes and Herb doesn't have any kids, he doesn't even see any kids at all.
Yeah. Well, that's what the episode showed. Whoever's not used for that episode.
Yeah, we're saying it's messed up. But so obviously there's something with Quicksilver. Problem is, if he's a plant, how does he have Quicksilver's powers? He has super speed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's like, we talking about comic book shenanigans. Who knows how they gave him his powers?
I mean, I think he is actually Quicksilver. The question is how. And
someone, what I'm thinking is the unnamed person who's also doing something with this town. Because there's definitely someone else doing something, I think. Because Wanda's proven that, like, the fact that she can't, if anyone she should have control over, it should be Vision.
Yeah.
And she doesn't. Vision is like the only one that completely broke.
Right.
Well, I don't think she wants to have autonomy over Vision because that kind of defeats the purpose. If she's controlling him completely, then is she really having her happy life with her husband?
Okay,
She wants to spend that time with Vision.
But didn't episode 4 show us that Vision is dead?
Yeah.
Dead. So if Vision is dead, then he is her puppet. And if he is her puppet, then he should be always going on to get along.
He's not her puppet. I think she reanimated him, like he's a android or whatever, and her power is allowing him to live. Reanimated
this dead guy. You should have complete control over him.
Right.
Like, your reanimation guy cannot break out of that barrier.
True.
Yeah,
he should go along with everything that she's doing.
So why? I don't know. She just, it's like she put new batteries in the robot. Like, why does he have to listen to her?
It'd be different if it was really Vision, but it's not really Vision.
Right, but it's not.
If it was really Vision, then yes, but he's dead.
Yeah.
Right, but the difference is, like, it's not approaching like a human dead. Like, he's a robot, so there's stuff saved, so it's still his personality and everything. He's just missing stuff. He's missing.
He's definitely missing a lot.
Whole
Avengers. He don't even know who the Avengers are. Yeah, he don't even know who the Avengers are.
Yeah, because he doesn't remember anything since she essentially rebooted him. I'll use that word. She rebooted.
But I'm saying it's not a reboot because they showed us dead Vision's body.
Okay, so here's my theory on that. I think she just saw that. I don't think his body actually looks like that. I think she just saw it because she was brought back to reality and the fact that, hey, this person's actually dead. Because you gotta remember, in this episode 6, she saw Quicksilver's dead body, but it was still Evan Peters. So
bullets and everything in it.
And that doesn't make sense because Evan Peters' Quicksilver wasn't the one that was shot.
Right.
True.
She didn't see Aaron Taylor Johnson. She saw Evan Peters. So I think she's just at that point, because they were talking again, in reality was coming back to her, and she saw that because it was like, hey, this person is actually dead, and that's what she saw.
True.
Yeah, so, I still think Vision should be the one person that doesn't break.
Right.
Because I mean,
now. Go ahead.
I'm saying, you're reanimating this robot. Like, that's the one thing you should be able to control. It's different to say the people in the town occasionally breaks because they, they're people. But I feel like Vision should be the one thing that does it because Vision is the one thing that she really wanted.
Right, but I don't know. Why wouldn't she give him full autonomy? Is it fun to be living your life with a puppet?
But is it fun? I mean, but you give him full autonomy, and then by episode 5, he's like, "I'm about to break out of this bubble."
I don't know. Now, this is what Danielle is leading to. What I was going to say now, because the kids may mention again about Vision, because I forget how the conversation go, but it was just like they made mention of how you can't bring someone back to life.
Yeah,
and the kids was like, "But you brought Dad back."
Did they? Did they say that? When did they say that?
I think. You're right. It was alluded to when the dog died or something, and Agnes found him in the bushes and they were talking.
They didn't mention Vision though. He said you can fix the dead, and Wanda was saying she couldn't.
Yeah, I don't think they mentioned Vision, but they did mention about you can do anything, and then Agnes was like, "You can do that," and then she kind of like turned around, like, "No." And then she went into her little spiel about some things you can't change.
Because my thing is, if Vision is gone. When he breaks out the barrier, he should be dead.
Yeah, he can't survive outside the barrier. We saw that in this episode.
Yeah, he can't survive outside.
We'll talk about that a bit. Vision breaks the barrier, right? And obviously, it didn't want to let him go, and he was falling apart because it's pulling him back in. And I think it was the pieces that was created inside of this reality was what was being brought back in. And he was just going to die outside of the barrier because he can't exist outside of it.
Okay, bro.
Yeah, he can't exist outside. That's why the barrier was like, nope, you get to stay.
Well, she definitely doesn't have control over him because she didn't know where he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he lied to her.
Yeah.
And she didn't know.
Yeah.
But and I'm boy, just saying because he's got that little beacon on him, like they knew where Vision was.
Which was just like, I love how comics always have these handy dandy GPS systems.
Yeah, well, it kind of makes sense though. vibranium is an element, and all
But
elements
he didn't bring it up
have a.
before.
Yeah, because he's got some secret thing he got going on. All right, so director.
Yeah, he holding some things on the wraps, man.
Yeah, what's up with that old dude? Director's got something weird going on. Darcy found something at the end of that, and it was called cataract. Now, I'm going to go on a whim and say that has something to do with vision because actual cataracts blurs your vision. Yeah. So, it's probably a pun that the director's using. And whatever it is, he was planning on using vision as a weapon. What
Definitely.
kind of weapon?
That's like the answer to everything in the MCU.
Yeah. Which, I mean, does that make him evil? No, because S.H.I.E.L.D. would have done the same thing. I feel like he's wrong, but this ain't nothing different than Fury would have done. Let's be real.
True. But I feel like his actions now definitely makes him. I mean, he handcuffed Darcy to a car and left her.
Yeah, that was so dirty.
Yeah, that's like, really, dude?
I'm like, why they leave? They just ran and they left her handcuffed to the car. So they go through the barrier. Let's talk about the barrier. They talked to Monica. Now, I was under the assumption that Monica already had her powers, but it looks like they're alluding to that she was given the powers by the radiation from this barrier.
From the barrier. Yeah.
Oh. Well, in my opinion, means that this is how we about to get us some mutants in this world.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that. So does this mean mutants in the MCU? I think so. Do you think do you think by the end of this series, obviously the Westview anomaly is going to go, but when they break it, do you think the whole power is going to like just encompass the Earth first before it like dispels? That way you can get, this person got powers from that radiation wave that went over.
Because how do you get rid of the barrier unless you get rid of Wanda? And Monica and Wu are working on breaking into the barrier by this secret engineer guy.
Yeah.
So I think what's going to happen is they are going to get rid of the barrier. But by getting rid of the barrier is like going to cause like a ripple effect. Mm-hmm. Because the only other way for it not to cause a ripple effect, I think, is if they convince Wanda to get rid of it.
And you're not going to convince Wanda to get rid of it,
right? So they're going to have to destroy. They're going to have to destroy the barrier, and they're going to really try it now because she extended the barrier.
Yeah, that was a crazy end to that episode, man.
That's why I was like, Mike, this girl is cold. Like, she densified the barrier, and then she extended and pushed it out. So anybody that was in the way came into the barrier, changed into, what was it, clowns? Some of the things turned into, like, carnival carts or whatever. But then, I can't remember if it was episode 5 or episode 6. She had her clothes, Monica had her clothes that she wore inside the barrier, and then she fired bullets at them, and they were, bulletproof because she went through the barrier with a bulletproof vest. So when the barrier changed her, everything that she had on, I guess the characteristics of it were incorporated into them clothes. So that's got to be key somewhere.
So it's like she's changing reality. She's using the stuff that's there and changing reality, which is why her children couldn't have been created out of thin air. She had to create them somehow. Did she take like 1 or 2 of her eggs and like create humans out of them? I don't know, but like they couldn't have been just poof made. Because they made a point to everything that she's doing here is just like rewriting reality rather than just creating something out of nothing.
That's why I feel like a person or whatever's going on behind the scenes, that's their doing. Because they have said it that she can't create anything out of nothing.
Yeah.
So it was like the kids, Pietro, that's someone else.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll have to see.
Because she has no control over them. Yeah. She can't do anything with them.
Yeah, she can't stop them from aging up either. Because she had to like tell them, she's like, hey, no, don't age up. Because they were age up when the dog died. So she don't got no control over that either. So it's like, there's somebody else pushing some buttons somewhere.
Yeah. So mutants in the MCU. I think this is how they're gonna give us mutants. I mean, I don't think they did that just to give Monica Rambeau powers. Like, that feels weird.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's saying that anyone that goes in and out is gonna mess up your cellular structure.
Yeah.
So
that's what Cap was saying.
Yeah. So that this is going to affect everybody. Like, imagine the people that's been in the bubble for so long, or when the bubble finally leaves, I imagine it's going to probably explode or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't think people kept mentioning people in the bubble. I think they made it clear to say because Monica went through the field twice. That's why her cells got rewritten twice. So the people in there, maybe they only got hit with it once on the initial startup of it.
Right.
But I think
they will have to walk through.
Yeah, I think it's going through that field because the edge of the field is where all the radiation and stuff is coming from. Yeah. So maybe that's it.
Unless it implodes, which is a reach. But it's like if it implodes and it retracts, and everybody's going to get sent back through that same barrier. It just all depends on how they get rid of that barrier.
Yeah. So
now, go ahead, Darren.
I was going to say, well, how do y'all think they're going to do the mutants? So obviously, we're going to have to get just like new mutants, meaning we can't have a Wolverine in World War II or Professor X or Magneto being a Holocaust survivor. You don't even know if we're going to get those characters. Where do you think they're going to go? Like, what direction are you going to think they're going to go with the mutants here?
There's so many to choose from. Like, it doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, you can have, like, okay, if Wanda creates these mutants by the end of this, or that's how mutants come along. I mean, you can have individual mutants enough to be like, there's a Gambit, or there's a Avalanche or something like that. So we can very well have them without having the main X-Men characters.
Yeah. I have a theory.
And
go ahead, Derek.
I was going to say this works perfectly for Wolverine because you make this mutant that has human powers and then you develop Weapon X with experiments with what they do.
Yeah.
And it's just like, this could just be the beginning of Wolverine instead of going through all that past stuff.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, we know this is the MCU, so every hero that's introduced is new.
Yeah. I still say just skip to X-23 since we had so much Wolverine before.
True.
And you're not going to replace Hugh Jackman, so let's just skip forward to.
I mean, you don't need a Logan.
You are better off just skipping to X-23.
Yeah. So you have that. I think my theory is that they're not going to do an X-Men, but they're going to go and do another team. Like we're going to get Excalibur or X-Force or something like that. Instead, they're going to just go like, okay, let's not. Obviously, we're going to have mutants.
I would kind of prefer that.
Yeah. So that might be it. And I mean, I don't mean we're not, because these teams interchange, so we're still going to get some of our favorite characters, but I think they're probably not going to go the X-Men route. That's my theory.
Well, it makes sense.
And we'll see.
I mean, because we already had 20 years of X-Men movies.
Yeah, like
so
if I want to see that again, I'll just watch those again.
Right, so you don't want to rehash something that's already been done.
Yeah.
And let's give it to the directors and writers for the MCU. They have been pretty good at steering away with what was before them.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we see that with Spider-Man and stuff.
Agreed. Yeah, with Spider-Man, I don't like the Fantastic Four, but I mean, it's probably going to be good.
Probably
compared to the other two movies, and it's not going to take much.
It better be, because else they better take Fantastic off the front of that. Just call it the Four.
The Four?
The Four. You kill them in like the first thing.
Yeah, so I don't think we're going to have a Professor X or a Magneto in the MCU.
Right.
That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, whatever. All the other characters you can still do.
All this multiverse and alternate reality stuff, I mean...
You could pull one from another universe,
Yeah. You can still do that, and it won't mess up a story.
Possibilities are endless.
True. I'm interested. I have a feeling the overarching theme of Phase 4 is going to be the multiverse. Like, that's going to be the through thread in this phase. And I'm interested to see where they go with it. Because I have a feeling each one of these movies is going to be huge.
Yeah. So who do you think Monica's contact is? Because they're making a big deal that she knows some astrophysicist person or whatever that can help us out.
They built a vehicle pretty quick. I mean, I don't know. People are saying Reed Richards. I'm not so sure they're gonna do.
No, there's no way they're gonna introduce the Fantastic Four. You know what I mean? The Fantastic Four is too big to throw him away.
A cameo in his show.
Yeah, no way. I'm thinking, especially since Tyler Haywood turns out to be a bad guy, and I don't know what the green hair lady is. I think that's how we get the green hair lady of S.W.O.R.D.
Oh, S.W.O.R.D. Yeah, is she a aerospace engineer though?
Probably not, but why can't they just make her one?
Okay.
Because who else is an aerospace engineer?
I don't know. I mean, it could be anybody. Let's be real.
I mean, honestly, it can be anybody.
But they building it up like she's someone special. Yeah, so it must be someone we recognize.
It's going to be someone special. Otherwise, they wouldn't have made a big deal out of it and kept the person secret. So it's going to be someone special. I don't know that it's going to be Reed Richards. Again, I feel like it's a stretch to put that there. Yeah,
I think it's too soon because you got to think WandaVision was already written and they only had to finish recording because of COVID. Like they was already starting and was halfway done before they shut everything down, and that was before they had the rights to Fantastic Four. They didn't have the rights to them yet.
So you can't say that because Evan Peters is in this. So I don't.
Right. So no, I'm not. I don't think that's a factor. I feel like the Fantastic Four means too much to Marvel for them to throw them away in the WandaVision TV show.
Yeah. I think they're going to be introduced in their movie.
There's no way. Like, Marvel loves the Fantastic Four. They're not about to just give them a random cameo in the WandaVision TV show.
Yeah. I mean, I guess technically they did that with Spider-Man in Civil War, but it was
Civil War is a movie.
And we all knew that Spider-Man was going to be in it, though, too.
Yeah. All right.
Now, what do y'all think about that scene with Agnes?
Okay.
She was at the end of the almost at the end of the barrier, but she just stopped.
Yeah.
Like she wanted to leave but couldn't. Yeah.
I think
but that whole part of the town though, wasn't all them people like frozen?
Yeah, they were all
like they were doing things just like weird, and then she was the one that got the furthest out.
Yeah. So I
think
like
the further away is like they were just stuck because she was only controlling the people that's basically around her.
Yeah. And I think it, like what she said, I made a wrong turn and got lost. I think she was further away of her control, so it was like she was no longer being used. So it was like because she turned in the wrong direction, she got lost. I mean, not lost, but like mentally frozen.
Well, yeah, because she was out there. Well, I think this points to like, I don't know how, but there's a lot of people in comment sections and stuff saying, yeah, I'm sure that it's Agnes. Agnes is the one controlling things. I'm like, I don't know how. To me, this makes it clear that Agnes is not in control. I think she's special. Not. I mean, she was in the intro to this episode. There's something special about Agnes, and she's probably Agatha Harkness, clearly, but she's not in control here.
No.
And that was clear because Vision had to break her out. Like, people are ignoring this fact, but Vision had to break her out of Wanda's control.
Mm-hmm.
And when she came to, she's like, "You're an Avenger. Are you here to save us?" And then she's like, "Oh no!" And then she came to that realization that wait, Vision is dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why she started laughing.
So, and to me, if like it dispels the theory because if Agatha or if Agnes is in control of this and she's doing this, it will be counterproductive for her to say, "Hey, Vision, Wanda's not letting any of us leave," because if you're in control of this, Agnes wants the Hex to stay up. And why would you send Vision against Wanda? Because that threatens the whole thing. It would be very counterintuitive for her to do that. Plus, was she just sitting in the car? Like, yeah, Vision's gonna show up eventually, and she's just sitting there at the edge of the town?
Right.
So she can tell this fib to Vision. None of that makes sense. Like,
none of it makes sense.
Look,
I mean, because he was just like, you got lost in the town you always been in.
I think that wasn't a throwaway line. She's not from Westview.
No, she's not, because they didn't have an ID for her.
Yeah,
they didn't.
I think she might be. At first, I didn't think this, but I think Agnes might be the missing person that Jimmy Woo was looking for.
Did you shut me down when I said that like 2 weeks ago?
I did.
They did.
And I'm turning around. Well, said, at first he said like, my guy and stuff. He was using like male pronouns or whatnot, but he's talking about a missing person. He has no reason to really identify who they are. And even when they put her on the board, like, we were dispelling that she was the missing person because, like, well, Jimmy never mentioned, but there's no reason. Like, if they're in witness protection, even if this is Sword, there's no reason for him to disclose that that's his witness.
Yeah.
So I think
because they in witness protection, so they don't exist. Only people know that they exist is the FBI.
Right.
So when you get a missing person, though, don't you usually get like a visual or like a picture or something to help you know what they look like? Because people still look like who they're supposed to look like. That's how they identify them.
No, I think Jimmy knows that it's her.
He knows.
Yeah.
He's just not. He just didn't disclose that to anybody else. And at first we were kind of dispelling like, why wouldn't he tell everybody? But if you think about it, if it's witness protection program, then no, he didn't tell anybody that was his missing person.
Right. Yeah, and it's just like Sword and Shield wouldn't know because everything about that person would be fake.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we could be wrong, but I think she might be.
We could be, but yeah.
Either I would imagine so, because it makes sense, because like they ain't got no ID tag for her, and she got lost, like you said, in the town that you always lived in. But you said she probably not from Westview, or we probably pretty sure she's not from Westview.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that part. Yeah. My theory with Agnes is, I think might be she helped Wanda with Vision.
I was thinking that too.
And then she got stuck.
No, not that she got stuck. Wanda won't let her leave.
Right. Well, I mean, she's definitely more aware than everyone else in the town. That's for sure.
Yeah, because what episode was that when she
care about using her powers around her either?
Yeah, and then that episode she came in and did something. She was like, "Oh, sorry, Wanda, you want me to do it again?" Yeah. Like just casually, like it was
episode 5.
Like it was nothing.
That was episode 5. Like, because Vision did something he wasn't supposed to do.
Yeah,
and she was like, "Should we start over?"
Right.
Yeah.
So nobody else say that
because she was supposed to grab the babies, and Vision didn't want her touching the babies.
Yeah. So she's for sure more aware than everyone else. So that's why I'm like, Agnes definitely has something to do with something, and she's special. But it's too obvious that it can't just be Agnes is in control, because otherwise she wouldn't have got stuck at the edge. She wouldn't have got stuck at the edge of the town. You know, I mean, she wouldn't have asked Vision for help. She wouldn't have told Herb to shut up.
Right.
So yeah.
No, none of that would have worked. So I'm curious to find out what's to do with Agnes as well. I'm curious to see what's up with the mutants. What is Director Haywood doing? What's gonna happen to Darcy now?
Yes, because she's in. I was like, oh man, I wonder what she's gonna turn into.
No, well, I don't think
I have my theories on that.
I don't think it's an automatic.
Vision is gonna be pissed off because he's gonna want to know why he couldn't leave.
Yeah, Vision's gonna be mad.
He already upset.
My thing is, if he actually talks to Darcy, then he will find out everything. So I will see if that happens.
Darcy is going to be a totally different person.
He can.
Darcy won't be able to remember.
No.
Oh, you talking about with her?
Yeah. If he takes her out of Wanda's control, then she'll remember everything.
But why would he do it?
I don't know.
Randomly.
But no, I don't think everybody that goes through the barrier is going to automatically get powers. I think that it's like a chance that it rewrites people's DNA. So I don't think Darcy's going to get powers.
No, she's not.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
I don't think so either.
She better be okay. I know that much.
We all love Darcy. Yeah, but so I'm wondering that Man, this show, I gotta watch episode 7. That's all. That's all I gotta say, man.
As do I. I'll be waiting for Friday all week long, man. I'm like, like a preview or something on it.
Yeah, man. I have a feeling it's gonna be crazy. And Wanda's not going down without a fight. So, do you think we're gonna get a Photon Wanda fight? So, Monica and Wanda, you think they're gonna fight at the end of this?
Yes.
Wow.
How
they're making such a big deal.
Going to win that? How?
Well, Photon.
She got some good powers.
Photon is just as strong as Captain Marvel, isn't she? In the comics?
Yeah, she has some really good. She got like super speed and indestructibility. But she got some legit powers.
Yeah, because
and you got to think she got her powers from crossing that barrier that Wanda created.
Yeah,
it's like,
and she's going in a third time.
It will put her on the same level. It's just like only things that can't stop them would be the actual stones, because it's like they got their powers from
the stones. Well, I don't know. Wanda destroyed a stone, so
yeah. That's why like Wanda is basically, she can't be stopped.
Yeah,
her and Captain Marvel.
I think it would be a good fight. Like I think Wanda and Captain Marvel would be a good fight. I think Captain Marvel would lose that eventually, but I feel like she would be a good fight against Wanda. So
I will say what holds against Wanda is she doesn't know how strong she actually could be. Yeah, and she's mentally unstable. That's how you depower people in the comic books, like with Legion, Professor X's son.
Yeah,
I'm like, and honestly, you cannot defeat that dude at all.
Great.
So it's just like, how can you make him weak? Make him mentally unstable. He has multiple personalities and he can't fully control his powers because he doesn't know which personality he's going to be.
Yeah,
that's true.
So we'll see what happens. I'm ready for episode 7, so we got about 5 days until then, and that's all I work during the week for, is to watch WandaVision on Friday. So
can we get some longer episodes?
Yeah, man, that's what I was hoping for. I was hoping this last episode was gonna be hour long. I'm like, all right, cool. So we're gonna get a little bit more into this meat of this, but nope.
They did say it gets longer towards the end, and we're in the last 3 episodes now. So we're in Act 3. So, I have a feeling it's gonna be longer.
Yeah,
Paul. But by end, do they mean 9?
No, Paul Bettany said episodes 7 and 8 was really intense. And I believe that these episodes are supposed to be longer. So if I turn my TV on Friday and that episode's only 32 minutes, I'm writing a letter.
Yeah, I'm about to call Paul Bettany. Like, Paul,
an hour episode.
Well, what we should do is at the end of this, just binge this as a movie. Once this is all over. Let's just put it all together.
After episode 2, I was like, I'm watching. When they showed the last episode, after I watch that, I'm rewatching all 10 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
You already know.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's got to be done. It's got to be done. It's got to be done.
That night. I'm just going to
just right away. Dude, that's going to be like 5 hours of stuff.
3 o'clock in the morning. That's when I'm going to get sleep.
Let's say, I got time.
All right, well, so that's our review or thoughts on WandaVision episode 5 and 6. A lot of craziness, and apparently it's just going to get crazier, so we're going to have to see what's going on with that. But other than that, we would like to thank you guys for listening or watching wherever you're taking in our content here. We are on...
Thanks! I'm saying thank you. I'm saying thank you. Can I not say thank you?
Yes.
What's so funny about being polite? What's funny about being polite, guys? Huh? You so used to being rude that when somebody is polite, you just laugh them out the door? Is that what it is?
Well, thank you for being polite, Dan. We appreciate that.
Jesus.
Yes, thank you guys. Remember, you can leave a comment wherever you are. Make sure you leave a like or subscribe or follow if you're on Facebook. We are on Facebook, facebook.com/3drivals. Also, you can email us 3drivals@gmail.com. And you can tweet at us on Twitter. It is 3_rivals on Twitter. Other than that, again, thank you for listening, guys, and peace out.
Peace out.